Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to make this a quick little video. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather with the actual weather. The wind is causing me a headache. So I haven't got a lot of, shall we say, patience or headspace at the moment. So I was just putting off doing this video because I just wasn't in the space to do it. But in my playing, I thought, why not share this little project? So what I've done with my playing is I've created these little miniature tags, and I think they've turned out really lovely. So it was a brand new stamp that hadn't been used before, so some of my stamping the first run didn't go so well, but I still think these are super cute. So I'm going to share what I did. So starting off with just a scrap of coffee dyed paper. You don't have to use coffee dyed, it could be any paper that you like. We're going to play with stamps and stamp pads and coffee dyed paper. I've got this stamp set here of music notes, and this is what I used for this one, but you could use anything, and I am thinking about grabbing a different stamp set, which I didn't plan on. Let's see what I can find here. I just want something that is just going to form a background. And has a variety of shapes or interest. I mean, you could use the same stamp. I'm sure that would work just as well. I'm just having a rifle through. Sorry, you probably can't see this. You might end up going with the same stamp set. I'm not having much joy here. I haven't got all my stamps with me. I've just got the ones I use the most behind me. Well, how about we go that one? I don't want ones that are too big. Okay, so we'll put our music. We might add music as well. So I'm going to play with the smaller ones. So the butterfly, dragonfly, the bird, the bee, feather, and this little bit of foliage here. And so I just grab a block, one of my stamps, whichever one, and a colour. Now I want to go for fairly lighter colours, and so I'm going to start with this Stampin' Up Pineapple Punch. All my Stampin' Up ink pads are ones I've bought second hand, so I believe they're all what's the word, retired, that you can't get them anymore unless you buy them second hand. And then just randomly stamping around my sheet of paper, however big your piece is, and making sure some go off the edge. And so I found this quite relaxing, just randomly stamping around the place, making sure to vary the direction so they're not all in the same piece showing in the same way. Okay, that's that bit. And in this process you may find you go back to a certain stamp and fill in a few gaps. It's all good. Okay, and so then I'll close this one. So for every stamp I use a different colour. You absolutely do not have to. You could just choose to go with one colour and different stamps, or you could go different stamps, different colours, or different colours, same stamp. Did I say that already? I'm getting myself totally confused. So this one is Lemon Lime Twist, just in case you want to know. Little birdie. Just randomly, and it goes fairly quick, even though our goal is to cover the whole sheet. So it's a good use of scraps because you don't get too bored by trying to fill like a whole A4 or letter sized piece of paper. that could get a bit tedious. Okay, that'll do for our birdie. I can probably, what am I trying to say? We'll probably need to grab either more stamps or something. Right, now I'm going for gumball green. I'm just using the same colours that I used in the one I was playing with earlier. Because I think that works fairly well for me. Some of the colours are a bit darker than others. And I'm not worried about perfect stamping or anything like that, and I'm not worried if they overlap. It's actually good if they overlap. Okay, let's switch out again. Let's go for a butterfly, which is a bit bigger. And I'm going to go with crisp cantaloupe. Doesn't that sound very tasty? Crisp cantaloupe. So you'll note that I'm turning it around, hitting different spots. Very quick, very simple. Looks like some very fancy wallpaper. So a good way to play with your stamps that perhaps you don't use so often, or which you love but you want a new way to use them. Okay, let's grab out now switching to my Ranger Archival inks. I'm going for chrome yellow. For our feather. Building and building and building. And I chose quite a small square of paper just so you didn't get bored watching me, because you'll get the idea. I'm sure you've already got the idea of what I'm doing so far. Just fun, just playing, and without any kind of having to think too hard. And my brain definitely wasn't in the think too hard mode this afternoon. I've taken a few painkillers and my headache's eased a bit, but I'm just not feeling right. And I do apologise if you can hear the wind, because it's really amped up in the last 15-20 minutes. It's got really strong. I'm missing a stamp here. This one. Vivid Chartreuse for our little bee. So this one's slightly brighter. I don't think I actually used this one on my other one, but I think it fits really well with the colours I've got going on. Cute little bee. So important to have a catch paper underneath to catch where you're stamping off, unless you want to cover your desk surface in random bits of ink. So as you fill it up, you begin to like, where's a gap, and then, oh, I need something in between those, and so you can end up switching back to something else. Okay, and we've kind of run out of those. Let's see what else I've got that will work in with them. Here we go. Use some of those. So just some different types of foliage here. Maybe these cute wee rose leaves would be nice. I don't think I've used this stamp. And we'll go with our bright Tangelo. Yep, nice. And we're going to be chopping it up, so it doesn't matter too much if you get some that are too close together in terms of the same design. And almost there. A couple of little ghost stamps there. Right, I'm calling that done. So relatively quick and easy and quite therapeutic, I find, just randomly stamping, filling up with colours that all work together. Okay, where did, that stamp set, right, just pop that aside, pop that one aside, and pop these away, or roughly away, just sitting in the drawer for now. Okay, now for the next step. You can choose to make tags, labels, tickets. You could have the outline of a large flower and stamp that and fussy cut out a flower. I did look for a flower that was suitable, but I couldn't find one in my stash. So what I've ended up with are these tag ones from Close to My Heart. Now it's the Tagged with Love Occasions set, C1614. I've never used them before, and so when I grabbed them out, I thought, cool, little tags, I'll use the tags. I did not realize that it's actually the top and bottom only. There's no actual tag, it's just the top and bottom. And I thought, oh, what am I going to do with those? Because obviously they have either a matching punch or die or something. So if you happen to find yourself in this situation, I worked out a little workaround. So I'm peeling off, I haven't used this one, I've used these two in my play. So I peel them off, turn it over, so I've got the design here, and then with the back of the stamp facing up, the bit that sticks to the block facing up, I line it up on the image, like so. I mean, I could make them taller and, you know, make them whatever size I liked within that width. But I thought, well, I like that size, it's cute. So I might as well make them that size and use the printing on the plastic sheet as a template. So now I've transferred it to there. It's not wonky. Sorry, it is wonky on the block, but that's okay. I'm going to grab out my VersaFine Onyx Black and I'm going to stamp. And I did find that having this little sheet that they're packaged with underneath actually helps it stamp better. So I always wondered why they used this stuff, and maybe it's for this reason. So I'm going to leave a space around it, and I can see I haven't got a lot of ink on that one. And maybe because I haven't used this stamp before, this is the first time. But that's still okay. That's fine for me. I'm not worried. You can see all the detail. Let's see if it gets better. Yep, totally. It's always that first impression of the new stamp that's a little bit dodgy. Okay, so I'm just going to do 3. And then this is my one I worked on earlier when I was just playing with the music notes. And I'm going to do maybe a couple on this as well. Okay, and just stamp off my stamp a little bit and then give it a clean. I find these stamps do hold on to the ink very well. If you don't clean them fairly quickly, they just kind of discolor. Even if you do clean them, they discolor very quickly. But they're such a good quality stamp. Right. Okay, don't need that anymore. So next step is to cut them out. So I'll go back to these ones because the ink's dry a bit more. I'm just going to trim across here. And I'm just leaving a little border next to the stamped image. And then just follow around, leaving that little border. You could go right up to the stamped image. I just like to give a bit of a border. It gives me somewhere to add ink because I've inked all the ones I do with Vintage Photo. And it also just makes it a little bit bigger. You could actually leave a bigger border if you prefer. But you need to keep it in scale to the stamped image or it might look a bit weird. Okay, so then I ink up the edge. Like so. Next step is I've made hole reinforcers. Now this is totally not required because they're so little, but I just really liked that as an added detail. So what I did for that, you end up with these scraps that you haven't been able to stamp. So I don't want that one. I want just my smallest circle punch, and I'm just going to take my scrap, punch a hole, ink around that. And then I'm going to glue it in the middle of the top of my wee mini tag there. Whoops. Just like that. And then wait till it dries and then take a small hole punch and punch a hole in the middle of it. And then I ink around the inside as well because, you know, just details. And then finally, my final step is just put these stamps back on the plastic, is put a word in the middle, which again is not necessary. You could put a little focal image like another different butterfly, but I do choose a darker ink for this. And where did I put the one that I like? I really like the dark green. Okay, the library green I think works really well with the colours I've got going on. And I haven't stamped this stamp before either, so let's give it a little test. It's not too bad. Line it up, and because these words are made to go on these tags, that makes it pretty easy. Where's the, losing stuff? Tell you what, my brain is just all over the place, and yet nowhere all at once. Yeah, it says you're pretty awesome. Cool. Just give that we clean off, and let's see if it's going to be nice to me and let me punch it. Helps to have the punch up the right way, of course. Oh no, it's not dry. Ooh. It's all right though. It's all right. We'll get away with it. And I've found my punch isn't punching in a certain area, so I just turn it around and repunch it, and it gets the piece that got left behind generally. Again, I think that then was actually because I didn't wait long enough for the glue. And then I just ink the inside of the hole. So we've got a "You're Pretty Awesome" tag. Just something really cute. You could pop it on a piece of ephemera to decorate it. You could have it as a little, just a little piece of fun ephemera to tuck into a pocket or a tuck spot. It actually does have writing space on the back, so somebody could definitely write on that. I do need to ink all around the backs as well, which I haven't done yet. Okay, so how about if you don't have these stamps? I've had them for ages and never used them, so how's that? Let's play with a label. Label could be any size, any shape, any style that you have. If you don't have a stamp, you could draw a rectangle. So very much believe in using what you've got. Don't have to go out and buy, you know, this, that and the other. Just use whatever you've got. And if you don't have it, then draw it or use a ruler and create a rectangle and cut that out. Right, I think I probably can, yep. How about we actually use the library green and do a green frame around our label instead of black, just for something different. Oh, I like that. I think that's very cool. And the beauty, of course, of the clear stamps is you can actually line it up and choose which part you might want in your label or ticket or whatever it happens to be that you're stamping. Lovely. I like that a lot. What else can we do? What about one of these number sort of ticket things? Don't know how well this will work because these are quite busy and this is busy. Probably need black. And maybe this one. Does it fit on there? Ooh. Just. Paper's a bit curly, so maybe pop it down and roll it forward to try and flatten the paper out as I go. Oh, that's very pale. Do I need to re-ink my ink pad already? I think I've re-inked it a few times lately. Maybe it's getting to the point where I actually need a new one. Or maybe it's the stamp. They're only cheap stamps, so. Maybe what I'll do is I'll carefully pick it up and then just give it a rub. Yeah, that was better. Okay. Just leave a very slight border around my little label here. And again, I could stamp something inside it. A word would be cool. Or some numbers. Great. These ones with the butterflies and the bee and the feather and all that sort of thing would be really cool in a botanical journal, a nature journal, a spring or a summer. If you used some brown tones with the orange and the yellow, then it would work really well for autumn or vintage. Yeah, really like that. I think that works well. So it's very similar to the way I create my hand stamped number pieces, which are in my Etsy, but just slightly different. I've never actually done it with these before. So I thought there was just a bit of fun. I'd come on, share it with you so that there's still a video for Friday, because I was kind of staring down the face of not having a video for you for tomorrow because of how I'm feeling. But I thought, hey, we'll just jump on, do this quick project. I don't know how long I've been recording. I've kind of got a bit lost in what I'm doing, so might not be as short as I thought it was going to be. And we'll just trim this one. Oops, I don't think that was at all straight. Got a curve in there. There we go. And a bit off the top. And so with these ones, all I'd do is just ink around them, which if you're not an inker, you would skip. And there we go. We have bunches of bits and pieces to decorate with quite quickly. Oops, that one's not cut out. Let's quickly just cut that out. I just noticed it's got an in and an out on it. Must be like a punch card ticket. I've never actually examined it. I've just like, oh, it's cool. It's got numbers and text and just fun, but never actually looked at what it might be. So is it issued subject to the company rules and regulations to be shown on demand? Oh, that's serious, isn't it? Be shown on demand. Funny. Right, so there we go. I've got these tags which I need to finish up. We have these labels, these fun tickets, and we've got all these ones that I made beforehand and this one that we made in the video as well. So I thought it was just a fun wee idea. I hope you have some fun with it. I do want to do some now with other colours, like some pinks and purples, and ooh, that sounds nice. That sounds lovely. Okay guys, I'll leave it there for the week. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I hope I do too. And I will see you on Monday for the new Deal It Up challenge. Take care everyone. Bye for now.